Alright, so you were with me inside of a 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. This truck is equipped with a special package that allows you to flat tow it behind a motorhome. And it's not really a special package, but it is a feature and an option you're going to have to get on it. And that is the four-wheel drive system with the 2-speed transfer case. This is the only model of the Jeep Grand Cherokee that you can flat tow because it gives you the capability of disconnecting the transmission from the transfer case so the wheels can essentially spin freely. Most other vehicles that you might consider flat towing are still going to be spinning the transmission when you tow it, and in essence you can destroy the transmission if you tow it for an extended period of time. Jeep and a few other brands still permit you to flat tow your vehicle if you get it in four-wheel drive with the 2-speed transfer case. So a Jeep Grand Cherokee can range in price anywhere from about $35,000 all the way up to $55,000 to $65,000 and beyond if you get something like the Special Edition Trackhawk package. The Grand Cherokee in the limited trim is actually more of a midline trim now. This specific Jeep is going to run you about $45,000. If you don't want to get it with four-wheel drive, it's going to be about $41,000. But for the purpose of this video, we're only going to talk about the four-wheel drive edition simply because if you're going to be towing it behind a motorhome, this is the package that you would need. Now, in terms of power output, the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 has plenty of power to get you around, and I can see why this is a popular choice amongst people who do need to flat tow their vehicle, simply because it's a nice package, plenty of room, very luxurious, has a great interior, and it has plenty of power to get you around wherever you're going. It rides very smooth. It leans more towards the firmer side of the handling spectrum, which is kind of synonymous with most Dodge and Jeep vehicles nowadays. They're basically designed to give you more of a planted, firm European feel versus that cushier, bouncier, springier feel. If you want that feel, you'd have to get something like a Jeep JL Wrangler that is designed more for off-road capability and in turn gives you more movement of the suspension. However, the Jeep Grand Cherokee does give you a lot of off-road capability, and it's designed to be used in fairly off-road conditions. Now, I wouldn't say that this is a vehicle that you can take straight out to Moab, or that you can take straight out to some very difficult off-road conditions, but if you need a vehicle that can get you around mild off-road conditions, sand, mud, dirt, things like that, this is definitely something you might want to consider, especially if you're looking for a vehicle that can be flat towed. Now, we're stopping by a Whataburger here real quick. No plug, but I just happened to park right in front of the Whataburger sign. Now, this specific Jeep gives you the capability of selecting between different types of off-road settings, such as sand, snow, rock, mud, or even keeping it in automatic four-wheel drive mode. So one area that you really have to give Dodge, Jeep, and Ram a lot of credit is the fact that they integrate a lot of technology into their vehicles, even if you don't get the top trim package. So for instance, this entire center area between the gauges is a 7-inch LCD display, and it is really high resolution, provides you a ton of really good information. You can customize it, you can change where things are located. It provides you a lot of very instant and great information when you're driving down the road. So a piece of technology that's common in Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler vehicles is this 8.4-inch Uconnect system. This has to be the best infotainment system I have seen on virtually any vehicle, bar none, simply because it is incredibly high resolution, everything is very nice and crisp, but it gives you a tremendous number of features, and more so, custom features. So for instance, if I do a lot of off-roading, and I'll show you this off-road pages in a second, but I want to take this specific icon and access it more frequently, I can simply move it down to the bottom tray here, just like you can on your smartphone. So if I need to access it more often, it's down here in this little tray of icons that are always available to me. So I'm going to show you the off-road pages now. By clicking on off-road, it's going to pull up a screen that is specifically designed to give you information when you're going to be off-roading, such as the vehicle dynamics. If I turn my steering wheel, you'll see how the steering wheel angle changes. It also lets you know what's taking place with the transfer case as well, and if you're engaged in 4 high or 4 low, as well as what terrain setting you're in. You have your pitch and roll feature here as well, which shows you your pitch and your roll when you're going over various terrains. Plus, it gives you a lot of information related to your coolant temperature, oil temperature, battery voltage, transmission temperature, and oil pressure, all on the same screen. This is a very, very cool piece of technology, and they do something similar to this for even their cars if you have one of their higher performance cars. In terms of cameras, this vehicle only has a backup camera. However, it has a very high resolution backup camera, probably the highest resolution backup camera I've seen. And it really does give you a good, clear, crisp picture of whatever you're backing up into. And it's shared with Ram trucks as well as Chrysler vehicles. This is just a really good system. And I've wished that the other manufacturers incorporate some of the technology that this system has into their systems as well. I also like the fact that you still have a lot of analog controls down here. So you still have a rotary dial to adjust your fan speed, to turn it on automatic. You have buttons to control temperature for both driver and passenger, recirculative air, your AC controls, and your front and rear defrosters and defoggers. This system is just a very, very nice intuitive system, and they've put little knobs where they need to be, while at the same time putting touchscreen options where you wouldn't want those to clutter this area with buttons. So that's nice. It has the auto start stop feature. It also has an eco mode which can turn on, and it essentially reduces your acceleration and kind of changes the dynamics of driving behavior to lean more towards the fuel economy side. You have a sport mode, traction control, and you have parking sensors. Here in the center, you have your different terrain management systems, your shifter with 2 cup holders. You have a pocket here that has your USB connection ports to connect your phone to your system, all the way up to your Uconnect system. And a very nice high gloss bezel that goes around the entire system. I like the nice accent trim that is on the doors as well as the dash. Kind of breaks apart here at the radio. Looks very nice though. On the driver's side, you're going to have your memory seat controls, power windows, door lock controls, as well as your automatic headlight, as well as your brightness controls for your gauges. Now, this specific Grand Cherokee does not have a sunroof, but it does come with your HomeLink system, as well as your power liftgate, and of course your dome light controls here on the top. Another thing that's very nice about this Jeep is that the seats are bolstered very well. They're very comfortable seats. They have a nice firm support feel to them, while at the same time they have a nice soft feel. So they give you the right amount of support if you're going to be in the vehicle for a long period of time. Definitely a comfortable seat. Now, I know a lot of people travel with small children, so I've opted to leave our daughter's child seat inside of this vehicle, and there's still plenty of room on each side. In fact, we used to have a Dodge Durango Citadel model that had roughly the same amount of space on the interior of it, and you have just that same amount of space here. So even with a relatively wide child seat, you still have a good amount of hip room if you're going to be sitting on each side of it. And in terms of space, once you're inside the vehicle, I have roughly 5 to 6 inches of space between the front of my knees and the back of the seat rest in a normal seated position up front, which is also nice. I have just a little bit of hip room left here with a child seat installed in the vehicle, but it's definitely enough to go on a longer trip without feeling cramped or uncomfortable like you might in some vehicles. It's nice that they also give you rear air conditioning vents back here with the ability to control essentially where they're aimed, as well as USB-C jacks and a 115-volt AC adapter that's rated at 150 watts if you need to plug in something like a cell phone charger or a computer charger to keep it charged while you're traveling. And something that's often missed by auto manufacturers is a reading light. So typically you're going to see a reading light towards the center of the roof area. In this specific vehicle, they put the reading light directly above the laps of the passengers in the vehicle, which give you a lot of good lighting if you're going to be trying to read a book or if you're going to be trying to work on a crossword puzzle or whatever you might be doing here in the back. Now, I also love the fact that it does have a power lift gate, as well as the ability to close it down here in the bottom corner. So this is really nice. A lot of SUVs put this button up on the top of the lift gate, which is difficult for some people to reach. I love how Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler put it down here on the side, as well as storage areas anywhere that there might normally be dead space. Once you put those seats flat, you get a tremendous opening back here, but even with the seats up, it gives you a ton of space, probably 4 feet in, roughly 4 feet across, and roughly 3.5 feet tall. Underneath here, you're not only going to have your spare tire with your toolkit, but you also get extra storage off to the side. This can come in really handy if you need to store things. Maybe you're going on a hike or you're going on a walk and you want to put something valuable in the back here so it's just out of view. Just a really good area for it. Your subwoofer's off here to the side, plus they give you a 12-volt connection here. And they give you these really nice bag hangers. So if you have groceries and things like that, you can hang your bags right here to keep them from fumbling around. They do the same on the opposite sides with your 2 bag hangers here as well. So the Grand Cherokee is powered by a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, which creates 293 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. That is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, a critique I have is that I do wish you got the LED lighting package with the limited trim, but unfortunately it's only available on the very highest end trim. However, it does have some very attractive 20-inch wheels with Bridgestone tires. So taking a closer look at the Moroni sticker, it has a base price of $41,195 with a total price of $45,000, which includes destination charge. And this is the Grand Cherokee Limited 4-wheel drive model, and it is not that bad equipped. Again, I do wish it had LED headlights with the nice accent trim. I think that really makes it look nicer up front, especially at night. It does give you a 4G LTE hotspot as well as heated front seats and 8-way driver and passenger power seats. As you can see here, the 20-inch wheel package was a $1,595 feature, as well as an $800 feature to get the amplified speakers and subwoofer, a 506-watt package with active noise control. But again, if you are going to get this Jeep and you do plan on flat towing, which means pulling it behind a RV as a tow vehicle, then you really need to get it with the Select Terrain system and the Quadra-Track 4-wheel drive system. Having that 2-speed transfer case with 4-low gives you the ability to put this vehicle in a mode that allows it to be safely towed behind an RV so you don't damage a transmission or drivetrain. And the fuel economy numbers for this SUV aren't really bad. 18 city, 25 highway, 21 average, and I can actually attest to that. 21 miles per gallon does seem to be about the average you're going to get on this Jeep. So I hope you all enjoyed this review of this 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Very nice SUV, and it's definitely one of the SUVs you should consider if you are planning on flat towing a vehicle behind your motorhome, because it's really one of the few that are left out there. A lot of Jeep vehicles permit you to do it, as well as a few other brands, but you're definitely going to have to research if your vehicle can be flat towed, because you simply can't connect just any vehicle or you risk damaging the transmission. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.